I'd like to welcome everybody to the council meeting at Adelaide Metcalfe Township Office. It's Monday, January the 12th at 7 p.m. We have all of our councilors present. One councilor, Campbell, is attending virtually, but he is here. Is there any declaration of pecuniary interest or general nature thereof? Okay. Seeing none, then you have the agenda for tonight in front of you. Are there any additions you want to make to that agenda? Seeing none, then could I have a motion to approve the agenda as presented? Moved by Councillor Brody, seconded by Councillor McKinnon. All in favor? And that's carried. You've had a chance to read the minutes of the December 8th meeting, as well as the minutes of December 15th. Are there any errors or omissions in either of those minutes? Seeing none, then we have a recommendation that the minutes of the Adelaide Metcalfe special meeting of council held on December the 8th, 2025 be adopted and printed. Could I have a mover and a seconder? Moved by Councillor Kingma, seconded by Councillor Campbell. All in favor? And that's carried. We also have a recommendation that the minutes of Adelaide Metcalfe meeting of council held on December 15th, 2025 be adopted as printed. A mover and a seconder, moved by Councillor McKinnon, seconded by Councillor Brody. All in favor? And that's carried. All right, next up is the Committee of Adjustment. We have a recommendation that council convene as the Committee of Adjustment at 7:02 p.m. Could I have a mover? Moved by Councillor Kingma, seconded by Councillor Campbell. All in favor? And that's carried. The purpose of the upcoming Committee of Adjustment is to provide the Committee of Adjustment and the general public an opportunity to hear from all interested parties regarding applications being discussed this evening. The public has advised that comments expressed and written material presented are a matter of public record, available for full disclosure. In respect to the Committee of Adjustment application, only the applicant or a public body can appeal a Committee of Adjustment decision to the Ontario Land Tribunal. This must be filed within 20 days of the date of decision. If you wish to be notified of the decision in writing, please submit a written request to our clerk, Michael Barnier. So at this time, I'll turn the meeting over to our planner, Ashley Sawyer.
Thank you, Chair Clark. So the subject lands are located on the south side of Egremont Drive, just east of Center Road, and they have a municipal address of 4047 Egremont. So on the map image in front of you, the yellow outline is the entirety of the parcel, and then I'm just going to zoom into the new proposed drive shed location. So the lands currently contain one single detached dwelling, one accessory structure, two drive sheds, and mixed vegetation, as well as agricultural lands in crop production and pasture lands. The lands are serviced by a privately owned well and septic system and have two existing accesses to Egremont Drive, which is also known as County Road number 22 and classified as a county arterial road. The owner is proposing to demolish one of the two existing drive sheds, so that's just the one that's underneath the pink outline there, and to construct one new larger drive shed in approximately the same area. The existing drive shed to be demolished is approximately 2,050 square feet and will be replaced by a drive shed that is approximately 5,400 square feet. The majority of the new drive shed will meet the required setbacks from the front lot line and from the center line of the county arterial road. However, relief is required for approximately 576 square feet as it juts into the required setback. So that's just that front piece there on the pink outline that you see that juts towards the road. So a reduced minimum front yard setback of 22.68 meters, whereas 30 meters is requested, which equates to a difference of 7.32 meters or 24 feet approximately, and a reduced minimum setback from the center line of the county arterial road of 36 meters is requested, whereas 38 meters is generally required, equating to a difference of 2 meters or 6.56 feet. Agencies and neighboring landowners were circulated in accordance with the requirements of the Planning Act. No concerns were noted by members of the public or agencies. And most importantly, particularly for this operation, the drive shed, no concerns were noted by the county engineer from a road safety or sightline perspective. So for the reasons outlined in detail in my report, planning staff are satisfied that the application meets the 4 tests of the Planning Act required in order to grant the minor variance. In forming this opinion, staff have considered the applicable policy framework, site-specific conditions and context, the application and supporting materials submitted with the application, and expert input provided, including the comment from the county engineer with no concerns. So we are recommending that the application be granted with the conditions that the relief only applies to the structure as submitted with the site sketch, and that the reduced setback only applies to 576 square feet as proposed and not to the entirety of the structure. And I'm here if you have any questions. Thank you.
Thank you, Ashley. Council, do you have any questions for Ashley at this time? No? Okay. Is there anyone from the public in the gallery that wishes to speak to this application? Okay. Any further comment from council? If not, then we have a recommendation that the application be granted. Is there a mover and a seconder? Moved by Councillor Brody, seconded by Councillor McKinnon, that the application for minor variance A02-2025 that requests relief from section 5.21 5.29.1 B to permit a reduced minimum setback from the center line of a county arterial road of 36 meters, and from section 6.2 to permit a reduced minimum front yard setback of 22.68 meters for a drive shed to be granted, subject to the conditions that Ashley already read out. We have a mover and a seconder, so I'll call for the vote. All in favor? And that's carried. Thank you. So at this time, I'd have a recommendation that council adjourn the Committee of Adjustment at 7:07 PM. Could I have a mover and a seconder? Moved by Councillor Kingma, seconded by Councillor McKinnon. All in favor? And that's carried. Next up is our delegation, the Ontario Provincial Police, David Bernardi. And he's also here with our chair, John Brennan of the Middlesex OPP Board. So if the two of you would like to come up, you can share a microphone, but at this time I'll turn the mic over to David. Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Mayor. I appreciate the invite to discuss the 2025 statistics for the municipality of Adelaide Metcalfe. Everybody should have received the report, which is at times a little bit convoluted. It's just a lot of numbers. So I have provided an executive summary of that report as well that should provide council a little bit of an easier read, and everybody should have that. I will refer to the executive summary, and then if, of course, field any questions specific to the actual report. The overall overview for 2025 was fairly stable with respects to previous statistics in 2023 and 2024. Some notable trends in traffic enforcement, violent crime increase, community safety initiatives as well. Impaired driving and seatbelt violations did increase. And overall collision severity decreased, and clearance rates and violent crimes, as far as their clearance rates for violent crimes, improved as well. Some key statistics in criminal code, non-traffic related, they were down 12.5% from 2024. So criminal code, non-traffic related that's a decent statistics as far as 56 compared to 24 or 64 in 2024. Criminal code traffic charges, we did go up. So those are your impaired charges. That's within that threshold. 17 in 2025 compared to 2024, we had 14, which is an increase of 21.4%. Highway Traffic Act charges, we did have an increase in 8.9% in charges in 2025. It's a testament to the efforts of our people and the focus patrols within certain areas, allocating our resources in certain areas to make sure that they're in the right places at the right time. Liquor license offenses dropped, specific to the Liquor License Act anyways, by 50%. Not a large margin of those charges within this municipality, within this area. For last year in 2025, there was 2. Total charges, we did increase slightly for this municipality from 223 to 226, which saw a 1.3% increase. Traffic enforcement highlights. There was an increased presence, which saw a 64% increase in speeding charges. 3 extra charges in seatbelts, which can be difficult to find sometimes. And impaired charges, we did see an increase in this municipality by 16.7%. A little bit troubling, but we are ever working to reduce violent crimes. And this municipality did see an increase by 20% in assaults and firearms. So it's not that every one of those incidents had a firearm involved. It's just that the OPP, the way they have it right now, which we are constantly working on with the way the report is navigated, they have those 2 sections together. So to my understanding, this municipality has not experienced any violent offense that included a firearm to this date. Other violent offenses, 7, which was relevant to last year's statistics as well. And overall, 20 cases in 2025 where violent offenses were considered, an increase by 17.6%.
So David, does that 20 include the 12 assaults? Like that's part of that number? Okay, and those assaults are they're domestic disputes as well?
Can be, so our intimate partner violent offenses are included within those violent offenses. Anytime that there's an assault that can be taken, that would go into that in that category, yes.
Okay, thank you.
So drug crimes, possession of, which is a specific charge under the criminal code, is at 0 for 2025. Trafficking, there was 1 case that was conducted by our street crimes unit and prosecuted. And overall drug-related offenses decreased from 2024. On the increase in mental health occurrences, 27 occurrences in 2025. That is up slightly from 24 in 2024. And a majority of those were related to assisting in mental health calls. Clearance rates did go on a rise. So we were able to clear 85% of violent crimes. And it's not to say that the other 15% are not still being investigated. It's just that that process is still continuing, or there is not insufficient or there is insufficient evidence to proceed at this time. So property crimes, 14%. Property crimes are a little bit of an anomaly because a lot of the times we are reactionary when it comes to property crimes, and those investigations are, they take a little bit longer for our members to complete. So typically, when we look at quarterly or annually, those property crimes clearance rates aren't accurate. It's hard to really gather when those occurrences get cleared. Because they do end up having a longer investigative process. So typically mid-range investigations involving our street crime units, they open up slight little projects. So there's a lot of investment that goes in from the Ontario Provincial Police into those investigations, and which requires surveillance and so on. So that's why that clearance rate might seem a little bit low at this time. Driving offenses, 85% clearance rate. Considering the amount of calls that we receive with respects to driving offenses, I would consider that a very good statistic there. So outcomes overall from 2025, traffic safety has increased in a testament to our members and their presence within the municipality. We have, as a result of increased ride programs, we have seen an increase in impaireds. It's a sad thing to consider that we have an increase in impaireds. A good thing that our people are out there on the road and getting them though, and holding them accountable. Speeding charges have increased, and happy to hear that in 2025 there was 0 fatalities reported within the municipality. Community safety hours have gone up, so we've really stressed having our people visible to the community and doing foot patrol hours and proactive patrol hours, especially in industrial areas within the community, to make sure that those property crimes don't occur. And victim services referrals, we're always looking to increase that area, especially in our intimate partner violence areas. 59 referrals offered within the 2025 period. 20 were accepted. It is voluntary for those people to, we offer the referrals, and it's up to them whether they do accept them, which turned out to be a 33.3% acceptance rate. Looking forward to 2026, set some goals and objectives for our team in Middlesex, which include traffic safety, violent crime reduction, mental health response, community engagement, and data-driven development. So the traffic and safety, we've looked at our, so within our ranks, we have our sergeants and then 2 ICs on each platoon. And we've looked at our 2 ICs to really take the traffic safety portfolio for our detachment and develop strategic plans using the data-driven analytics of where accidents are, where our impaireds are, and really focusing on focus patrols for ride programs and specific areas for where members should be setting up. So not just randomly driving around municipalities and counties, although can be productive. We want to be able to, resources are finite, so we want to be able to strategically place them in areas where they're going to have the best value. Violent crime reductions, that's a fulsome conversation. It includes education through our community engagement officer. It includes being back in the schools and making sure that students feel comfortable in speaking to the police. It includes our communities, council, educating members, finding different avenues of being able to get out there and have people feel comfortable speaking to the police on a regular basis. And that is one way that we can do that. A lot of the violent crimes that would be considered within this area are not all necessarily people from this area. So there is a diaspora of people coming in within the Middlesex area. So that is something that we are aware of and working towards as well. Mental health responses within, this is not the only municipality that is on a rise. Again, that is an education piece. We continue to work with our youth. We continue to work with our stakeholders, including London City Police, Strathroy Caradoc. We have recently received a grant from the provincial government, which has allowed us to hire 2 more clinicians. We'll be driving around with our members, so that is it's a great asset for our communities as well. Those 2 people have been hired already, so we're just going through the security checks for that. We suspect that they'll be on ground within a few months. Community engagement. We are back in the schools, and we've recently signed a memorandum of understanding with both our public and Catholic schools. And we're working closely with them to get back into the schools, start getting back into performing educational processes with the schools and with the students, having them feel comfortable speaking to a person in uniform. And from my perspective, obviously a little bit biased, but certainly a long time coming. And obviously using data-driven, we have a specific regional analyst that is specific to Middlesex, and we utilize her services and expertise on a daily basis, making sure that we are, again, adequately using our resources and positioning our people for the best success and reducing any public safety measures that may arise. Action items for 2026 as well. So quarterly traffic blitzes, and we are looking at using our 2ICs again to develop those operational plans for our members. And then looking at a matrix to see how effective that is moving forward. Mental health protocol, expanding the mobile crisis response team. So we mentioned that we did receive the grant, and over the next couple of months, we will be doing that. Clearance rates is always something that we'll be tracking on a quarterly basis to see where we are, and utilizing our analysts to inform us on best practices. And victim support, that is a continued outreach. We have a specific victim specialist that is a part of our team in Middlesex. She is fantastic, and she works collaboratively with our domestic abuse coordinator and our mental clinicians as well. So overall, that is a summary of the 2025 year and a game plan moving into 2026. And subject to any questions from council, that is my report.
Thank you, David. One of the things that I had written in my article in December that was in the banner was that and we did this a little while ago, we requested an increased presence in downtown Kerwood. So we do have speed radar signs at both ends of the village, and we used it sort of as an education piece. But just to reinforce, we would like maybe to see a little more surveillance. It is going to be designated a community safety zone, so that might be a real education for some people. Because as you know, the speed fines, do they double or triple in a community zone? I forget. If it's marked,
To say whether they double or triple, I'm not certain.
okay, but they're more, yeah, yeah. Yeah, so because there is a park there, and in the summer we have close to like 200 kids playing soccer three nights a week. So it is a concern for us, and so if I can just reiterate the request for that, I'd appreciate you giving that more consideration. The mental health piece, I think it's great for the MCERT team that you did get the grant funding, and we appreciate that. That's for sure. Before I hog everything, has anybody else got any questions or anything they want to add? Counselor McKinnon?
Through you, Mayor Sue, to Dave. At one point, refresh my memory because it isn't great at times. But at one point, you had a seniors education program for fraud, and it was canceled. It was to be held at the fire hall in Kerwood. And I just wonder if that might be something you could look at in the future
Absolutely. We
for
can,
we senior people.
that's frauds are on the increase, and thank you for bringing that up, because we have just recently assigned a Middlesex member who is a great investigator to specifically investigate frauds. Lower end frauds, because we do have any rackets unit that is a provincial unit that would investigate benchmark occurrences. But we are seeing a variety of different frauds that take up considerable investigative time of our road officers. So we've found it a significant investment to designate one person towards that, and they will be working with our crime unit. Our community engagement officer does do presentations, and I will speak to him about coming back into this area and doing one for the seniors for sure. Absolutely. Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah. And Mayor, I did have one question about the traffic in Kerwood. You said you did have signs and speed monitors as well.
Yes, we have one at both, like they post your speed, and typically people do stand on the brakes. But it seems to be the biggest problem is when they're going north after they go over the tracks. There is a sign there, and there's also like a proper Ontario roadway sign with the speed posted, but they seem to pick up speed as they're going out of the village. So we have had on occasion, which kind of surprised me, but I'm fine with it. It was on Friday afternoon at about 2 o'clock, I was coming out of the fire hall and there, we had a meeting there. And you guys actually had a ride program. So, and that kind of surprised me, but the officer said, no, it's all times a day you run into these challenges. So we have seen ride programs in the village and I appreciate that. But it would be nice to see, the increased enforcement because word does get out in a small town.
Is there any chance of having those, the information shared with us from those speed monitors?
Yeah, I can actually speak to that, David. I did share that information. I think it was in September, I believe, with Mr. Hare
Oh,
and
okay.
with you guys. So,
Okay,
um,
I will speak to him. I don't think I have that information yet. Thank you.
Do you guys want to add anything else? You're good? So I do know, like I do sit with John on the Middlesex County OPP board and Jeff Hare was there doing a presentation and I know a lot of people probably see him on Facebook when he's updating on what's going on with the weather and stuff. But he also is quite active in the schools now doing education. And I think to your point, kids have to feel comfortable at a younger age relating to officers. And so I think it's a great program and I'm happy to see the school boards have entered into the MOU to allow that to happen. So I think that's excellent for that program to continue. Okay, anything else from anybody? Okay, seeing nothing at this time. If you guys do have any questions, I'm happy to take those forward at our meeting next week with our detachment board meeting or the Middlesex, whatever it's called. Sorry. Yeah, so thank you very much for taking the time to come tonight. I know there's not a whole lot you can do from a budget standpoint. I know Johnny's sitting there. He's our bean counter and he was probably hoping you were coming with a refund or something, but that's only when the government steps in and that already happened last year. So we don't expect that 2 years in a row. So once again, thank you for taking the time to come tonight. We really appreciate it.
We should have had each municipality on the budget. Obviously, every municipality receives costing. There should have been an invite for a webinar for the 22nd and the 26th. And at our board meeting, we will have representation from spoken to as well.
Good.
To
Yep.
costings.
Yeah, like I said, there's not a whole lot we can do about it. It's some of it's non-discretionary expense that we don't have any control over, but it is nice to understand the numbers. So, okay, we'll get that next week. In 2 weeks, I guess it is. 2 weeks. Is it a
Next
week? Oh, it is next week already. Okay, good. Okay, well, thanks again, guys, for coming. We appreciate you taking the time. Are we the first to the group? Are you starting with the A's? Okay, well, good luck. I hope we weren't too hard on you. So, yeah, thanks a lot. Yeah, we will. Take. Okay, next up is our consent agenda. Is there anything off that agenda, 7A, B, or C, that you want pulled out for discussion? Okay, seeing no, then we have a recommendation that items 7A through 7C listed under the heading of consent agenda for January the 12th, 2026 be adopted as recommended. Mover and a seconder, moved by Councilor McKinnon, seconded by Councilor Kingma. All in favor, and that's carried. Okay, next up is our correspondence. We have a request from the municipality of Huron Shores to support a resolution requesting improvements to Highway 11 and 17. We have a request also from the municipality of Huron Shores to support a resolution regarding rent protection for tenants. A request from the municipality of Magnottawan requesting us to support a resolution for Invest Ready Certified Site designation. Councillor Campbell?
Yeah, this was one that I actually thought kind of fit with maybe some of the ideas we have moving forward. That maybe some of that investment in land that could be developed, if it isn't perfect, doesn't mean that there isn't access to grant funding. So this is one that I would support.
I agree with that because in their request there, they're also citing, if you have some in dry industrial, for example, those aren't their words, they're mine. But you don't need, maybe a well's going to be enough to get by, whereas it's not fully serviced, and that's where the restriction is right now. So I agree with that comment. Would you be prepared to make that a motion to support that?
I would, yeah.
Okay, is there a move by Councillor Campbell that we support that request for resolution? Is there a seconder? Councillor McKinnon, all in favor? And that's carried. Next up, we have a request from the municipality of Thames Centre to support a resolution regarding sustainable waste management. Councillor Kingmo?
Through the mayor to council, I support this simply because the issue of waste piling up is going to be an increasingly difficult situation to manage. And with improved incineration technology, I think that might be a viable path forward.
Any other comments on that, or would you be prepared to make that a motion, Councillor Kingma? So moved by Councillor Kingma that we support 8D, the resolution from municipality of Thames Centre, a seconder. Seconded by Councillor McKinnon, all in favor? And that's carried. Next up is a request from the town of Coburg to support a resolution on elbows up for climate action. And the last one is a request from the town of Smith Falls to support a resolution on the Ontario Community Infrastructure Fund. Councillor Kingma, go ahead. I was hopeful.
Yes, I'd like to be the one that offers up the no-brainer. 2026 is almost over. Just kidding. But we're going to need OSIF funding post 2026, so I'd like to support this.
So that's a motion. Do I have a seconder? Moved by Councillor Campbell, seconded, all in favor? And that's carried. Okay, could I also now have a recommendation that council receive 8A, 8B, and 8E and file that correspondence? Moved by Councillor Brody, seconded by Councillor Campbell, all in favor? And that's carried. Okay, next up is our staff reports, the fire protection grant agreement. I'll turn this portion of the meeting over to our treasurer, Johnny Pereira.
Thank you, Mayor Clark. Through to council. As part of the township's ongoing strategy to secure external funding for critical municipal services and reduce pressure on the local tax base, the township was successful in obtaining $19,626 in funding through the Ontario Fire Protection Grant administered by the Ontario Fire Marshal. This grant does support cancer prevention initiatives for volunteer firefighters through the accelerated purchase of second sets of bunker gear, along with required NFPA compliant inspections, cleaning, and maintenance. The 2026 capital budget and long-term forecast did include a phased approach to purchasing second sets of bunker gear over multiple years. Through this grant, the township is able to advance significant portion of that program into 2026, allowing for the purchase of 4 additional sets this year, in addition to the 2 sets already included in the 2026 budget. Since these 4 additional sets were not included in the approved 2026 budget, a budget amendment would be needed, with the full cost being fully funded by this grant. This acceleration provides immediate health and safety benefits for the firefighters while reducing the financial impact to the 2028 and 2029 budgets. Attached to the report is a copy of the Ontario Transfer Payment Agreement, and I would kindly ask council to consider the recommendations outlined within the report. I'd be happy to answer any questions.
Okay, thank you, Johnny. Are there any questions for Johnny? I just have a comment that January is, I believe, I don't know if I'll get it right, Cancer Awareness for Firefighter Month. And so I think the timing is perfect to receive this grant and approve it. So with that being said, we have a recommendation that council enact a bylaw to authorize the mayor and the clerk to execute the Ontario Transfer Payment Agreement related to the fire protection grant awarded to the township. And further, that the 2026 budget be amended in the amount of 19,626 to facilitate the capital purchase of 4 additional second sets of bunker gear, fully funded by the Ontario Fire Protection Grant. And further, that council delegate authority to the treasurer to sign any forms and reports required under the Fire Protection Grant Agreement. Could I have a mover and a seconder? Moved by Councillor Kingma, seconded by Councillor Brody. All in favor? And that's carried. Okay, next up, keeping with the fire theme, is our Fire Chief Dan Parker to present the staff report for the Adelaide Metcalfe Fire Department fourth quarter.
Thank you, Mayor Clark. As you mentioned, this is my fourth quarter report for 2025. The activities of the fire department this year included incident responses and training initiatives, fire prevention, and public education. We were very active in the 2025 fourth quarter period. Our seasonal snow and ice storms resulted in increased motor vehicle collisions, contributing to 32 responses in our fourth quarter. And along with that, we did provide mutual aid support to our neighboring fire departments. We had 6 different occasions where we were transporting water for fire suppressions. Of the 32 responses, 13 motor vehicle collisions, 2 medical calls, 1 incident involving CPR was administered. And the department responded to 2 motor vehicle fires, 1 down power line, and 3 motor vehicle extrications. Then in October, Adelaide Metcalfe hosted the Blue Water Girls U9 girls hockey team. Myself and firefighter Samantha Bolton had them into the hall for a fire prevention and emergency preparedness presentation. Our officer Chad Tominga continues to be a comprehensive training opportunities throughout the quarter with assistance of a neighboring fire department. We utilize a forcible entry door prop. We're conducting hands-on training. Firefighters were practicing various techniques in forcible entry on doorways. And as you can imagine, this takes a coordinated effort, and it's quite physically stressful on some of the guys. As well, the fire department, we had the honor of hosting the annual Remembrance Day service. It was on the first Sunday in November. The event was well attended by the community, and with special recognition extended to my firefighters and led by my deputy chief, Adrian Tominga, who prepared and cleaned the cenotaph with pressure washer and relaid and leveled the bricks out front with the sidewalk. So there was made the service even more special with the excellent condition of the appearances there. Training activities continued into November. Our auto extrication techniques, hose advancement exercises. The fires continue to be refreshed on our self-containing breathing apparatus. We trained with our rapid intervention team. In conjunction with that, we're working with our RIT bag, rapid intervention bag, which supplies compressed air to a situation where we would have a down firefighter, and something we practice and hope we never need. In addition, in November, Captain Ray Bolton and myself traveled to Winnipeg to complete the final construction inspection of our new tanker. The visit provided a great opportunity to meet with the team out there at Fort Garry, including plant managers, technicians that were involved. The inspection process allowed the department to observe the full manufacturing workflow, noting that all components other than the chassis are fabricated in-house. A small number of deficiencies were identified. However, they were minor in nature and were quickly addressed prior to our delivery. December training activities continue. We're focusing on our lift bags, which are heavy-duty inflatable rescue devices capable of lifting farm equipment or structural components to free trapped individuals. All firefighters participated in the training scenarios, including our members of our junior firefighter program. And finally, on December 22nd, 2025, Tanker 5 arrived from Winnipeg. Tanker 5 reflects its status as the 5th tanker in the history of the Adelaide Metcalfe Fire Department. Following driver training and familiarization sessions, the new apparatus has been placed into service. The fire department is fortunate enough to have several firefighters with professional truck driving experience or background in operating large equipment, which was supported to a smooth transition to the new vehicle. Appreciation is extended to the council and township staff for their support in the acquisition of the tanker. As a rural fire service, this unit represents the critical components of the department's long-term emergency response capabilities. As part of our ongoing health and safety improvements, Nicole Lewis and myself have continued to update the department's standard operating guidelines, introducing new procedures and policies where required. Our new safety boot policy for the apparatus floor has been implemented, and the second group of firefighters will be completing with compliance requirements in January. Fire Prevention Officer Kyle Kirasovich. Kyle continues to conduct fire safety inspections throughout our community. In October, he inspected 4 bunkhouses, all of which were found to be in compliance. In November, he completed a re-inspection of a local greenhouse, conducted an inspection of a hotel, and carried out inspections at 2 businesses along the commercial corridor. He also inspected 1 group home, assisted with the facility with a fire drill, and completed an inspection of a private public school. It's my recommendation that council accepts the my report. I'm glad to take any questions or comments. Thank you.
Any questions for Dan on that report? Councillor Kingma?
Thank you, Mayor Sue. The Tanker 5 is just gorgeous, and but I'm wondering if you are planning any slight modifications to it by any chance?
That's a great comment, question. We are going to, we did put some extra lights on the back to, while myself and Captain Bolton were out there, you'll probably remember Uxbridge Fire Department had a collision on the highway, and while we were out there, we did decide to put some extra lights on, the red and blue flashing lights, just a little bit lower, kind of in the vision of drivers as they come up. As you know, we're out on the 402 quite a bit, so something we came up out there. And then as well, we are going to add a sight gauge, water level gauge at the back of the truck. It was something that we missed in the construction.
Yeah, it's a beautiful truck. If anybody hasn't seen it, it's worth having a look at. And I think the lights are great. You know, they're right at the right level. And when you showed them to me the other day, they do get your attention. You almost think it could be a OPP car if you're on the so that would definitely get someone's attention because we want everybody safe out there, that's for sure. Any other questions? I think it's great that they allowed you at their expense to have you and Captain Bolton or whoever, yeah, Ray, we'll call him Ray, go out to look at it because there were the deficiencies. It's nice to get them looked after before they deliver it. So that's awesome. Yeah, perfect. Okay, if there's no further comments or questions, we have a recommendation that council receive the Adelaide Metcalfe Fire Department fourth quarter update report. Could I have a mover and a seconder? Moved by Councillor McKinnon, seconded by Councillor Campbell. All in favor? And that's carried. Thank you, Chief Parker. Okay, next up is, our next staff report is regarding a single axle snowplow purchase, and I'll turn this over to our Public Works Manager, Coulter Cahill.
Thank you, Mayor Clark. Council received a staff report in late 2025 to start the process of purchasing a single axle snowplow instead of a tandem to better accommodate our narrow streets and tight parking lots. The unit priced was in compliance with the township procurement policy using the Canadian Public Sector Purchasing Cooperative Program as a sole source. Josh White of Middlesex County Procurement Services was consulted throughout the procurement process to ensure compliance and best practices. The selected unit is a 2027 Freightliner 114 SD Plus, and it consists of a Freightliner single axle chassis and Viking Sieves snowplow and winter maintenance equipment. This configuration meets the operational requirements of the Public Works Department and is consistent with the existing fleet standards. Delivery for the cab and chassis is estimated to be 3 months after purchase, and then it will be delivered to Viking Sieves in Mount Forest, Ontario, to be outfitted with the snowplow equipment. The total forecasted amount in the 2026 budget was $424,320. The purchase price for the new unit is $347,177 plus HST. This purchase results in an estimated cost savings of $71,033. The recommendation is in my report. I'd open up for any questions if there is any. Thank you.
Thank you, Coulter. Any questions or comments on this? Just the obvious one. I'm glad it came in under budget in these times of challenging financial times. So that's great. Seeing no questions, then we have a recommendation that the council approve the purchase of one new 2027 Freightliner 114 SD Plus with Viking Sieves Limited Equipment. Is that how you say it? Okay, in the amount of $347,177,000 plus tax through the Canadian Public Sector Purchasing Cooperative, and that the Township Public Works Manager and Clerk be authorized to execute on behalf of the Township of Adelaide Metcalfe all agreements and other documents necessary to implement this award. Could I have a mover and a seconder? Moved by Councillor Brody, seconded by Councillor Kingma. All in favor? And that's carried. Okay, thank you. Next up is our closed session. We have a recommendation that council adjourn to closed session at 7:47 PM pursuant to section 2392 of the Municipal Act 2001 as amended to discuss the following matters. A proposed or pending acquisition or disposition of land by the municipality or local board regarding property tax registration. A position, plan, procedure, criteria, or instruction to be applied to any negotiations carried on or to be carried on by or on behalf of the municipality or local board regarding the servicing agreement between Strathroy Caradoc and Adelaide Metcalfe. And lastly, a position, plan, procedure, criteria, or instruction to be applied to any negotiations carried on or be carried on by or on behalf of the municipality or local board regarding Mulla Ferry Drive invoicing. Could I have a mover and a seconder to go into closed? Moved by Councillor Kingma, seconded by Councillor Brody. All in favor? And that's carried. So we'll now go into closed. We'll see you on the other side.